Good morning from Skift. For daily updates in your inbox, subscribe to the Skift Daily newsletter at skift.com/daily.
Presented by the Salvation Army. As the pandemic continues, families are facing fears of homelessness. But when you give to the Salvation Army, you keep hope marching on. Ask your smart speaker to make a donation to the Salvation Army or go to salvationarmyusa.org.
It's Tuesday, October 12th in New York City. And now here's what you need to know about the business of travel today. Indigenous tourism had been booming in recent years, but like many other sectors of the industry, its growth was stunted by the pandemic. But a new collaborative launched on Monday, for which Indigenous Peoples Day was celebrated in much of the world, aims to ensure the sustainable recovery of Indigenous tourism in the Western Hemisphere, writes global tourism reporter Lebowit Lily Girma. Nearly 100 Indigenous leaders and travel industry figures have created the Indigenous Tourism Collaborative of the Americas, which is working to prepare Indigenous communities to take advantage of the interest many travelers have in visiting them. Partially funded by the U.S. Department of the Interior, the collaborative is made up of two groups of advisors, one with representatives from numerous Indigenous communities, while the other includes tourism industry leaders and government agencies. Several Indigenous leaders have said the group will help provide their communities critical information in regards to welcoming visitors. We next turn to Southwest Airlines' brutal weekend. The Dallas-based carrier canceled about 2,000 flights in a 3-day period starting on Saturday. However, the airline and its pilots' union clearly said a pilot walkout did not cause all the cancellations, writes Madhu Unikrishnan, editor of Airline Weekly, a Skift brand. While several media outlets suggested that Southwest Airline Pilots Association, upset about their airline's vaccine mandates, was responsible for the mass cancellations, Southwest blamed its flight cancellations on bad air traffic control problems in Florida. The union is not opposed to vaccinations, but it believes that the issue should have been negotiated with the airline's pilots before any mandates were issued. The airline's executive vice president of daily operations, Alan Kasher, said in a memo to employees that the airline was fully staffed to handle Columbus Day travel, but didn't have the reserve staff on hand for unexpected weather disruptions. Finally, we delve into one aspect of the struggles the UK travel industry is facing. Battered by the pandemic, numerous businesses in the industry took enormous loans offered to them by the government. But many of those companies have yet to pay off what they owe. In fact, travel firms owe $2.7 billion worth of loans, writes corporate travel editor Matthew Parsons. The UK government loaned a total of $50 billion to a selection of companies as part of its COVID corporate financing facility, and companies have until March 2022 to repay their loans. 3 airlines, Ryanair, EasyJet, and Wizz Air, have more than a combined $1.6 billion in debts, according to the Bank of England. However, the Bank of England confirmed to Skift that none of the above-mentioned airlines is late in repaying their loans, and an EasyJet spokesperson told Skift that the company plans to pay the remainder of its COVID corporate financing loan when it's due later this year. For more travel stories and deep dives into the latest trends, head to skift.com.
To find these stories and more insight into the business of travel, subscribe to the Skift Daily newsletter at skift.com/daily.
Spoken Layer.